High school sports are back. Despite COVID, teams have competed even with basketball, wrestling, hockey, and other sports seasons coming to an end this past month. Each team only missed a few games due to COVID exposure.
In the performance, one, we didn't have a number of kids that weren't able to play because of the COVID, so we had a little different team than we thought we were going to have. We didn't have the preseason preparation that we normally had. Then we had a condensed season, so we had less practices in between each game. So there's multiple things that I think you could say impacted that. But that being said, every school and every team was dealing with the same issues. So that being said, it kind of was an even playing field across the board.
Due to the risk of being infected by COVID, high school sports leagues have enacted new legislation that makes it safer for players and staff to participate in sporting events.
So obviously we do a pre-screening before they come in, a temperature check before we go, and then as far as when we go to the event, we're normally sitting on benches all close together. We're in the stands since there was no fans allowed. Everybody was spaced out 6 feet apart, wearing masks. Obviously, when that specific person went out to wrestle, they took their masks off for the specific wrestling. Coaches remained with masks on the entire time, keeping our 6 feet apart. And then after the match, we had disinfectant wipes for them to wipe down after the match.
One, we had no locker rooms. We had minimal time to do shoot-arounds, which we'd normally do. Away games, we didn't take a bus. We would meet at the school. We still had to do our temperature checks and all that prior to either leaving the school or arriving at a away team school. We had to bring our own basketballs to away games, which usually the home team would just supply for warm-ups. Those were just a few of the things that we had on game days that were a little different.
At the end of the day, it was really good to have the season. Do I think it was as good as a normal season? No, of course not. It was a limited amount of time. We were put on a couple pauses, which, means we couldn't practice as much as we normally would. I got through basically about a third of our techniques that we would do in a normal season, just with the pauses, the shortened season, and competition was very limited. In years past, we have about 35, 40 matches before the district tournament, and this year we had 7 matches before the district tournament. So that's a fraction of what you normally have. It's much harder to evaluate.
So whatever they told us we should do to try to make us have a season, I thought was well worth it for the kids to be able to play.
Signing off for WNHS News, this has been Will Scherer, Garrett Bain, and Supaxay DuCharme.